Hello, I am doing a video response. It's my very first video response. I hope the lighting isn't too bad. It's the best I can do. Anyway, this is to Brenna Toney. She did a video, I am no longer religious. I'll try to leave a link to it down below in the description. But some of the things she talks about is, being open-minded in public, and the judgment that you receive for it during, like your spiritual awakening. Especially at the beginning, you don't know who you should say what to. I mean, in any religion, sometimes you have that feeling of, oh gosh, are they going to accept what I say, or am I going to get complete and total criticism? Um, and she refers to that in her video as well about, the Christian criticisms that you get. Uh, just from having that spiritual awakening. And it doesn't matter if you're reading a book or reading it online, if it's got you thinking and it's got you questioning. No matter what religion you're in, you should have those questions answered in a concise manner, and you shouldn't feel criticized for it. And I think that's what brings a lot of people to Wicca and paganism and witchcraft and Buddhism, and just the questions, the questions factor. um, because like she alludes to in her video, that book, it doesn't contain every single answer. There's things in the middle that you want to maybe go more in depth for, and that book don't cover it completely. There's so many restrictions in the Christian Bible. Now, I have not read the Quran. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read the Quran, and I haven't had the inclination to do so. Uh, so when it comes to Muslim and all that, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Um, and we're not going to go into that because that's all political, and you might not see the type of person you like if we get political. So anyway. Let's see, what else does she talk about? Uh, the events that led her to her pagan path. There's always events throughout people's lives that lead them to whatever path they choose as far as religious, or anything kind of like life situation. There's always a reason behind it. Maybe you saw something that someone else did or went through. Maybe you read it in a book. Maybe you watched it in a movie. But there's always going to be something that's going to lead you to the decision that you make. And the uh, the simple fact is, you don't have a whole lot of choice. You have to realize at some point in your life that something's guiding you. It's not 100% you, but you have the trump decisions to make. And see, I don't like that statement. I'll probably cut that out because I don't like him at all. But anyway, that's another thing. Uh, there are decisions that you can only make, and you're the only one that has any kind of factor in it. But you're gonna base that decision on things that you've seen or felt or dealt with, or had a conversation with, or whatever. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to come into play. Um, me, I'm not going to lie, there was tons of stuff, and I don't know why I denied it, other than my whole family being Christian. I denied my paganism forever. I mean, I shouldn't say forever, but I'm going to be 42 years old this year, and I'm tired of pussyfooting around. Uh, Last year is whenever I decided I was going to say, screw it, I'm a witch. And there was a lot of things that led me to that. And those issues are going to have to come along at a later date. Oh, gosh. Okay. One of the events I can tell you that led me to my paganism is, no contact with my mother. And that was my choice. My mom has a lot of mental issues, and she likes to force people to do her dirty work for her. And that's the nicest way I can put it. She wants people to do things for her in life to propel her forward. And it is not right for anyone to live their life like that. If you knew my mother and our history, you would understand. It's like, it's really difficult in my path so far because of my lack of contact with my mom, because of my lack of a relationship with her, and because we have a hatred for each other, plain and simple. Me and my mom hate each other. Um, it's been really difficult to connect to feminine. So when I started on this path, I really, I mean, during my dedication, I did not dedicate myself to a deity. I dedicated myself to my path. And I felt like it was necessary for me to do that. And during that ceremony, I basically put a call out, please accept me for who I am and intervene in my life how you see fit with light and energy. I do believe the way I put it. I have it written down in my book of shadows. I have written it down, oh gosh, months in advance, and I kind of proofread it many times, and when it finally came together as far as the words that I wanted to use, that's whenever I did ritual. And it was the most satisfying feeling I had in my entire life with something I had done all by myself. It was fulfilling in every way, shape, or form. It was fulfilling. I definitely had a connection with God that night, and that was wow. That was definite. I mean, I had visions. I was in trance, of course, and I had visions, not of her, but, well, it was of her, but it's not like I could see her face, is what I'm saying. It was just a total knowing that that's who it was, and that's who was coming to me, and her acceptance, and her embrace, and it was just wonderful. And that was the first time I've ever felt truly 100% like a mother was loving me, you know, and, yeah, yeah. That's why I've had such a hard time, I guess, coming to the decision, you know, to be a pagan and embrace the feminine. Because that's the way I always looked at paganism in general. Well, you got to have something to do with the feminine. And, you know, I went through a lot of denial about the fact that I am a woman and I am feminine. You know, when I was young, I was molested. Yeah, I was molested like so many other people out there. And, because of that, I had a lot of self-hatred, you know. But, you know, that's a long story in itself. You could sit down and analyze me 24/7, and you're still not going to understand me 100% just because you know that. But as far as the feminine aspect, you know, connecting with feminine in general, whether you're pagan or Christian or whatever, you have to be accepting of yourself. And when I was Christian, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it because of the things that they told me. You know, you have no idea how many Christians told me I was a nasty, dirty girl. Because some guy who happens to be my stepbrother put his hands on me. How is that my fault? How is that my fault? I was 5 years old whenever it started, and I was 8 when it stopped. How is it my fault in any way, shape, or form that this disgusting human being decided to take me without me understanding what was going on? And yeah, I stuck with Christianity for a long time, even with that judgment. How stupid is that? But it's because you have this feeling that you have to conform. You know, you have no choice but to conform to, you know, their ways and their thoughts. And, you know, gosh, really? Really? Anyway, I'll get all gosh, it'll get nasty if I start talking about all that stuff anymore in depth. So we're gonna move on. But my gender roles, I've always had a problem. She mentions basically about gender roles in her video as well. I've had trouble with my gender roles. People in my life. Um, I was always taught by my grandparents. My mama always told me flat out, "You take care of your man. You take care of your man. If you don't, somebody else will. You pamper them. If he needs you to rub his feet, you rub his feet. You fix his plate for him. No ifs, ands, or buts. You fix his plate." And my mama was a lot like that, but she was rude and hateful in a lot of ways when it came to stuff like that too. And I've had a lot of trouble in a lot of relationships because of it. And at one point in my life, I even wanted to just plain out be a lesbian because I'm attracted to women too. I don't, I never stuck with that because I didn't find a woman that, tickled my fancy enough that I wanted to completely and totally change. And not to mention, I do have, attraction to men too. But I never found a woman that was okay with, me having a relationship with a man while I was with her, or a man while I was with him. A girl with a man. You understand what I'm saying? Hard words. Anyway, um, but because of that, I've had a lot of relationship issues. Don't get me wrong, I've always known that I'm a woman, but a lot of men I had a real hard time with because the way they view women. I don't particularly, I'm not particularly offended easily when it comes to guys, what guys say about girls, because I don't know, I kind of think like a guy sometimes. Uh, I don't know how else to explain that. My denial of my femininity had a lot to do with it, I'm sure. Uh, but now that I'm in the craft, and I'm learning to embrace my femininity and just be who I am and don't deny it anymore. Don't pretend as if you can be someone else because you can't, you know. Uh, I don't know, my path has really helped me a lot, just be able to expand and accept and deal with my baggage. A lot more than Christianity ever did. A whole lot more than Christianity ever did, because in Christianity it was, well, why don't you go talk to the priest, or why don't you go talk to the pastor, he'll help you. And 9 times out of 10 I would get the brush off because, I mean, hey, look, I don't have a whole lot of money, and you can see that. Look at this $1,000,000 smile. Can't you tell? I'm so rich. But because of that, they didn't want to give me the time. I've had like maybe two pastors and one priest in my life that actually took time and listened and tried to be helpful. And they did what they could for the moment, but I'm a stubborn bitch. So I didn't always take their advice 100%. And I paid the consequences because I found out later they were right. But am I saying that that was, like one of the 100% things that, made me change to paganism? No, no. Am I saying I hate all Christians? No, no. Uh, Brenna, she actually mentions in her video how everybody's on their own path at their own time. And we all know that as pagans. We all know that. And Christians have a hard time understanding that because, that's not part of their conformity. That's just what that is. It's not part of their conformity. So, but anyway, I'm going to move on to the next part that I made notes on. One of the main things that led me to my path, is just wanting that connection with ancestors. I don't know my ancestors. My mom was adopted. My dad wasn't in my life. So, okay, how mixed up was I? How mixed up was I with all that Christian conformity and everything? I was extremely, extremely confused. Um, I don't know. It seemed like the right time. Last year just seemed like the right time. I felt like, I am 41 years old. I am 41 years old and I am still confused. I didn't have a path at that moment. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to feel. And every time I turned around, somebody else was telling me how wrong and foolish I was. It was time for me to say, hey, this is my life. This is my life and my decision and my rules. As long as I'm hurting nobody, you shouldn't have a damn thing to say about it. Okay, so the next thing, I'm laughing here because that's my next note. Sex magic and my awakening since. I have awakened a lot more since I started using sex magic. And I'm only at the tip of the iceberg with sex magic. Um, I'm laughing because I am not the person to talk about sex magic. I am just starting to learn. I've been into it for about 3 months now. Um, I realized as soon as I saw the definition of sex magic for the first time that I had used it before and I didn't know it. It made me take a step back. The more I hear uh, people talk on YouTube about sex magic or the more articles I read, it's really funny whenever I actually find certain people that have talked about sex magic, and it's like hitting it on the nail there, gosh, oh my gosh, that memory comes back and it's like, damn, I did that. Or, oh my God, is that what he was doing? Ooh, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. I did not know. So, anyway, since I have started using sex magic in my practice, since I found my path and everything, I am astonished at the results. Very, very astonished at the results. And I don't know, that's about all I can say about it because, like I said, I'm very new to it. It's not something I do all the time or anything. I'm not saying, oh gosh, yes, once a week I have sex magic ritual with my old man. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is I have used it in my practice and I enjoyed it and it was wonderful and it worked and that's that. So as I advance in that part of my practice, then, yeah, I'll probably feel the inclination to share. But until then, you'll have to wait. So, I'm not a seasoned witch either, and that's why I'm not wanting to talk about it. So, but anyway, uh, Brenna, why do I keep going brain dead? Anyway, Brenna mentioned that she's not a seasoned witch, so she can't talk about it either. Um, so there's a lot of YouTubers out there. I'll go ahead and leave a link to some of the ones that I've watched and I enjoy. Um, but anyway, these are YouTubers that I'm pretty sure y'all have probably watched. Um, there are tons of articles out there on the internet, tons of articles. Um, I have not found any books in my library about sex magic. We have a very short, small occult area, and I haven't been able to actually order any books either. So, but there's several references you can use. There's actually several places online that you can read complete books. Like I have a copy of, oh gosh, it's one of Buckland's books. It's, uh, oh gosh. Anyway, I'll probably leave a link to that too. There's tons of references out there where you can read full books, even if it's an ebook, because I can't go to the library a whole lot. So I don't have a big whole huge collection except on my computer. So, there's a lot of PDF files out there you can find. Now, and I'm not saying I'm one of those stupid witches out there that takes what it says and I do everything word for word. No. It's because it's my path that I can choose specifically what I'm going to use from whoever and if I want to use it. 9 times out of 10, it's like a mashup of things that I've seen in the past, and maybe one or two things that I've seen in YouTube or read in a couple of the PDFs or ebooks that I've seen and read. Which I got a lot of ebooks. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't have the money to invest in a library. I don't, and I'm a bit of a minimalist. So when it comes to owning a whole bunch of stuff, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't have time for it. I don't have room for it. Well, I have room for it. It's not that. I got a big old huge 2-bedroom apartment with hardly nothing. But that's the way we like it. Okay, that's the way we like it. Uh, but as far as the books, I just don't see the need. If I can keep it on my computer, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. If it crashes, that's okay because I've got a couple of links that I know of in my head that can lead me to those links again. But anyway, I don't have a whole lot of books. Doing the work on yourself and growing in your craft, not just in your craft, but as a spiritual being as a whole, getting to the root of who you are. That's another thing she mentioned that, you know, I have been struggling with, and all my life I've been struggling with it because, hey, let's just be honest. It's like I told her in one of the comments to one of her videos, we will always be learning. Life is a learning process. And I don't care which profession you choose, you are always going to learn something else. And that's going to prove to you, oh, well, maybe I don't know everything. Have to go back and take another class. The great thing about our path is we don't have to take a class. We can do what we want when we choose to. And as far as these classes I see out there, even though I've signed up for a few, I don't think I'll be taking them. And I'll tell you why. Because yes, they're teaching you the basics. Okay? They're teaching you the basics as far as they know them and what they've been taught. And that's wonderful. That's great. But I think that there's enough references that I have used since I've been online and since I've been, reading all the documentation that I've been reading. I believe that no matter what, you're always going to learn. These classes are just, if you're a seasoned witch, sometimes you have to reteach yourself some things because you might have forgot something. Most good witches know that they are going to be continuously learning and do refresher courses on the basics. I don't think I'm going to take a class though because I think I've learned enough. I have found enough is what I should say. I have found enough online that I don't think that I'm ready for that move yet. I think that would press upon me judgment that I don't need right now. I think I need to grow a little bit more before I end up taking another class. And I haven't taken one class since I started on this path. It's been it's actually been about 8 months since I actually said enough is enough. Enough is enough. I know I'm pagan. It's probably been about 5 months, I guess. Let's see. It's January now, so yeah, it's been about 5 months. September was whenever I finally started using the label witch. And I do proclaim myself as a witch. I don't say I'm, anything in particular. Just because of my lack of knowledge. I'm getting there. I have a nibble on what I think I am, but until I do enough research, I'm not going to plaster, this is what I am. So, but anyway, finding your center and strength. That's what she was talking about, is finding your center and strength. Doing that work within yourself and finding yourself and figuring out all the nuances of you. Until you know that, you can't completely say this is the path I'm on. You can't label your path. Um, it's ridiculous if you try. I'll put it that way. It's ridiculous. And she's right. Uh, Doing all that work, that inner work and everything, it's difficult. And I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably continue to do that work on myself for the rest of my life, because there's always something that bubbles up. There's always something that I think I've took care of. I think I'm okay with that. I think I have forgiven that person. I think this has happened. And then later on, something else pops up. That's been my experience. So, but anyway, she mentioned something about, taking the good with the bad. Take the good with the bad, take the life with death. There's a lot of things that come up in life that, you have to accept it. You just have to accept it. So, but anyway, I know this has been a rambly video, and oh my God, I'm going to be cutting a whole lot of stuff out, so whenever y'all see the cuts, don't laugh. So, but anyway, this is my first video response, and wow, that was kind of awkward at points. So, but anyway, y'all go take a look. She's got some interesting stuff, and I know, even though she's only had a few videos, she's only got a couple of videos out, she's got a lot of good info. Um, and I mean, come on, guys, we're growing together. So, I don't know. I felt like I needed to support her, just like, several of y'all have been supportive towards me. Um, I'll give a shout out to Mimi Mary. Hey, how you doing, girl? Another Gypsy Soul. Girl, I liked your last video. That was a good one. A really good one. I loved your video response. That was great. I mean, your YouTube Pagan Challenge. That was great. I enjoyed it. So, but anyway, I'm going to get off of here and stop rambling, because I know y'all ain't got time for all this. So, see y'all later. Have a great one.